One Piece may be killing the entire manga industry because it has gotten far too popular, and this is something that I've actually been thinking about for a while. And I think what really exacerbated this concern was Jujutsu Kaisen, because as we know, the anime for JJK this year was fantastic. There were so many people talking about it, there was so much hype for it, and the popularity of it did rival One Piece. The manga sales that we see do rival One Piece. And I think that if Jujutsu Kaisen continued into the future, I think that if it had the running time of One Piece, it would eventually overtake it and become one of the most popular series of all time. But something interesting happened. It's ending this year. And that's a really big concern because there are so many flagship series in Shonen Jump that are ending and there's really nothing to take its place. I think what's really interesting about Shonen Jump is the fact that it continuously cancels new series because people aren't reading them at the same volume that they're reading something like One Piece, that they're reading something like Naruto. In my opinion, that is just never going to happen anymore. In the age where stories are so easily accessible, in the age where people could go into the internet and find anything, the fact that a story isn't getting enough traction in Shonen Jump and therefore it leads to it being cancelled, in my opinion, is quite literally killing off the manga industry. And I think that the popularity of One Piece is something that is exacerbating this issue. Because I want you guys to think about anime specifically in the West. Obviously, it was things like Dragon Ball and Sailor Moon that first introduced the West to anime, and that's where a lot of people, especially older people, started off. People were watching Dragon Ball. It was something that they could talk about, and I think that Dragon Ball was also one of the first animes that really had a widespread international release. That, of course, was until Naruto. Now, Naruto has a dub in almost every language. It's been one of the most searched terms on Google, and I think that this anime quite literally popularized anime in the West. It was everywhere, and I think that the English dub was so important in America because even though the original series ended, we still had the English dub to catch up on, episodes to release, and it was something that carried the hype for a long time. Until it didn't. Because of course, Naruto ended. And to take up its place, it seems like One Piece is now being pushed to be the frontrunner, as Netflix is basically pushing One Piece in the West on all sides. You can't go anywhere on the internet without seeing One Piece. There's something interesting, right? One Piece is ending soon. In my opinion, I don't think One Piece is ending in the 5 years because Oda says this all the time. One Piece is probably going to end in 10 years, and I think that in the 30th anniversary, that's probably where the final saga is going to end. But after that, is there anything that can truly take One Piece's place? Is there anything that's truly going to be the face of anime and manga? And in my opinion, no. There's never going to be another One Piece, there's never going to be another Naruto, and there's also never going to be another Bleach. The big three is something that could never happen again just because of the wide array of stories. But also, there's something very important, and it's the fact that Shonen Jump has constantly been canceling new series and not giving them a chance to really grow. Let's be honest, Naruto, One Piece, Bleach, all of them had some pretty subpar beginnings if we're comparing them to newer animes, to newer stories. They had very slow starts and it took a while to get into them, but that was just the way that the story was being told. And because we got introduced to the characters in this way, those stories became very enjoyable. Look at the start of Dragon Ball. Dragon Ball, if it just immediately went into Goku fighting people, wouldn't have been as interesting as actually meeting him and Bulma, seeing their interactions, going into smaller details. These are the things that hook viewers. And so when you're seeing new series like Red Hood, which in my opinion really needed some time to grow and gain that audience, get canceled and axed, it just really proves that anime and manga are going to start having serious issues in the future. So basically, I see it like this. I think there's going to be a big manga shortage, specifically in Shonen Jump, because the stories that they're going to publish will never reach the popularity of One Piece. They'll never reach the popularity of Naruto or Bleach. We'll never have those type of numbers again, especially in a digital format. With animes, because as we all know, a lot of animes are based off of their manga counterparts, it's going to create a huge strain on the anime industry as a whole, because stories that may make fantastic animes are going to get axed far too soon. Obviously, there are different publishers for manga, but when you're really looking at the most popularized stories, it's shonen, and that is one of the biggest frontrunners of the entire genre. If you don't have shonen putting out fantastic stories, you're really going to see a dip in the amount of content that we have. But I do actually think that there is a bright side to this, and there's something that I've been wanting to talk about for a little bit, and it's the fact that something like webtoons has been absolutely killing it on the story front. There are so many fantastic stories that are being published in webtoon by independent authors that are just allowed to grow. They're allowed to flourish. You can be an independent author and publish on webtoon. And I think Crunchyroll has really gotten onto that because there's going to be far more webtoon adaptations, far more manhwa adaptations that are going going to be made into animes rather than shonen adaptations. And I think we're going to see a very radical shift with this. Shonen Jump already said that they want to make a webtoon style counterpart, and I think that this would be really good. But I also think what Shonen Jump should start doing is, number one, having a completely digital app that doesn't have a published side and allowing independent creators to publish the manga on their site, just like how Webtoons allows their creators to do. Just have people make their stories, and if people want, they can pay to read fast passes for these stories. This way, if you're an independent creator, you would be able to put your stuff on this platform, and eventually, if it gets popular enough, Shonen Jump can kind of take it over and publish it and even move it to a physical copy. I think that this would be the best way to go, because in reality, once One Piece is over, I think there's going to be a little bit of a dark age with manga, because Shonen Jump does not have anything to replace this right now. Thank God that One Piece is actually here currently, because after Naruto and Dragon Ball, there was really nothing to take its place. No flagship series that would actually push Shonen along. And as we've been seeing, One Piece is now being pushed heavily internationally, just like how Naruto was, just like how Dragon Ball was. So when that eventually ends, that's going to be it for the flagship series of animes. We are going to see a shift to more webtoon style comics, and of course to more animes that are either original anime stories, stories that are based off of independent creators, or stories based off of webtoons. There won't be another One Piece, there won't be another Naruto, there's not going to be another big three. But I don't think this is a bad thing, and I think that what Shonen Jump needs to do and what the manga industry needs to do as a whole is have a radical shift from having stories be acts before they're able to actually flourish, to allow creators to publish their stories and to get an independent audience so that we as readers and consumers can actually have stories we enjoy without having to worry that they're going to be axed. But that's just what I think about it, and it's something that I've been thinking about for a while, so why not make a video? But I'd love to hear your guys' opinions. What do you think is going to happen in the next 5 to 10 years of anime manga? And what do you think is going to happen after JJK ends and Chainsaw Man ends? And what do you guys think is going to happen after the new wave of new gens eventually ends? Do you think that there's going to be things to actually replace it, or are you just as scared as I am? I would love to hear your guys' thoughts, and if you like the video, make sure you comment, like, and subscribe. It really does help me out a ton. I'll see you next time, Tanuki Crew. Peace, peace!